Did you know you can build a functional antenna at home using everyday items you already have in your garage? You don't need special tools or expensive parts. With a simple kitchen strainer, an old bike valve, and a few wires, you can put together an antenna that actually works. Let me show you how to build it step by step. Take your step drill bit and slowly drill a clean hole right through the mesh. After that, get an old valve stem from a bicycle tube and remove the inner core so it's hollow. Slide the valve stem into the hole you just drilled. It should fit snugly, and this piece will become the main connector for your homemade antenna. This simple step sets the foundation for the entire build. To make the base for the antenna, you can use an empty Coca-Cola can. Take your drill and make a clean hole right in the center of the bottom of the can. After that, grab a utility knife and carefully cut around the lower edge to separate the bottom section from the rest of the can. Work slowly so the cut stays even. Once the piece is free, use fine grit sandpaper to smooth the edges and remove any burrs. When you're done, you'll have a lightweight aluminum disc that's clean flat and ready to mount onto the valve you installed earlier. Tell me what part of the country you're watching from. I read every comment. Now you take the kitchen strainer and clamp the rim firmly in your vise so it doesn't move. Use a small torch to heat the metal handle. After a few seconds, the handle softens enough for you to bend it by hand or with pliers. Shape it into an L so the strainer can stand upright on its own without tipping over. This gives your antenna a stable frame. Once the handle cools, grab the Coca-Cola can, bottom you prepared earlier. Slide it onto the tire valve you installed in the strainer. It will fit snugly and create a tight contact point for the signal. Press it down firmly and make sure everything sits straight. At this point, the body of your homemade antenna is starting to take shape. To build the signal path for your antenna, you start with a short piece of coaxial cable. Strip both ends just enough to expose the inner core and the outer braided shield without damaging them. Take your time here, because a clean strip helps the signal travel better. On one end of the cable, connect a simple two-prong plug. Match the inner core to one prong and the outer shield to the other. Then tighten everything so the connection stays firm. Once the plug is ready, feed the opposite end of the cable through the valve stem you installed on the metal strainer. Pull it through until only a few inches remain on the inside. This short cable becomes the link between the antenna body and your power connection, and making sure each wire is seated well will help the antenna pick up a clear, stable signal. Now let's get the antenna rod in place. Take the telescoping antenna from your old radio and look at the bare copper core of the short coax cable you ran through the valve stem. Strip just enough insulation so the copper core is clean and easy to connect. Wrap the core tightly around the base of the antenna rod. Make sure the connection is solid, because this is what carries your signal. Once it's wrapped, press the rod straight into the valve stem. It should sit firmly. To keep it from shifting over time, add a small bead of hot glue around the joint. Hold it in place until the glue sets. After that, place your setup on a flat wooden board and secure the bent handle of the strainer to the board with more hot glue. This gives your antenna a steady base, so it stays upright when you plug everything in. To finish the setup, you need a long coax antenna cable and an F connector. Start by taking the long cable and stripping the outer jacket on one end. Peel it back just enough so you can fold the braided shield to the outside and expose the inner insulation. Strip the tip carefully until the copper core is clean and straight. Now slide the F connector onto the cable. Twist it down firmly until it locks onto the shield and sits tight without wobbling. After that, crimp it or tighten it by hand, depending on the connector style you have. Next, prepare a small outlet adapter or a loose plug that the antenna system will connect to. Take the other end of the long cable, open up the plug housing, and connect the core wire to the center terminal. Connect the braided shield to the ground side. Make sure the screws are tight so the wires don't slip out over time. When everything is secured, close the housing. Now you have a long antenna cable with a solid F connector on one end and a ready-to-use plug on the other. This gives your homemade antenna a clean, stable path to your TV. Now that the antenna is fully assembled, you can hook everything up and see how well it performs. Take the F connector from the long antenna cable and plug it into the antenna port on your TV. Make sure it's firmly seated so the signal doesn't cut in and out. Turn on your TV and open the auto scan menu. Start the channel scan and let the TV search for all available signals. This step may take a few minutes, so just let it run. When the scan finishes, check the picture quality on a few channels. You'll see how well this homemade antenna pulls in the signal using nothing more than simple items from your home. When the TV finally picked up every channel again, it proved that this homemade antenna works as well as many store-bought ones. You saw that with a kitchen strainer, a soda can, and a few simple cables band. Can build a reliable setup right at home. If you enjoy practical projects like this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next idea. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.